Hey folks, welcome back to Stoic Quotes 365. Today, we're diving into a subject that so many of us have faced, but rarely know how to navigate: emotional detachment. You know that gut-wrenching feeling when you can't stop thinking about someone, replaying conversations, or wondering what went wrong, whether it's a breakup, unreciprocated feelings, or even a toxic relationship. Letting go of emotional attachment can feel like one of the hardest things in the world. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be. Emotional detachment isn't about shutting yourself off from the world or pretending you don't care. It's about finding peace within yourself, regaining control over your emotions, and learning to focus on what truly matters: your own growth, happiness, and well-being. Imagine waking up and not feeling the constant pull of regret, anger, or longing. Imagine being free. If you've been caught in that exhausting cycle of overthinking, hoping, and hurting, then this video is for you. Today, we're going to explore 7 Stoic rules that will teach you how to emotionally detach from someone. These aren't quick fixes or surface-level tips. These are transformative principles inspired by Stoic philosophy, a timeless approach to mastering your mind and emotions. Now, let me ask you this. How often do you feel like your emotions are controlling your life? Like no matter how hard you try, you're stuck in the same patterns, feeling powerless and unable to move forward? If that resonates, I want you to know one thing: you're not alone, and you're not stuck. There's a way out, and the path begins with changing how you think, not how others act. The Stoics believe that while we can't control external circumstances, we have complete control over how we respond to them. Think about that for a second. Every time someone lets you down, says something hurtful, or rejects you, you have a choice. You can either let it consume you, or decide that their actions won't define your happiness. Detachment is about choosing the latter, and that's exactly what we're going to uncover today. You see, emotional detachment isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about stepping back, assessing the situation, and prioritizing your peace. It's about protecting your energy from people or situations that drain you. And most importantly, it's about empowering yourself to let go of what no longer serves you. Because at the end of the day, you deserve to feel whole and happy, regardless of anyone else's actions. Let me tell you a story. Imagine you're holding a glass of water. It's not heavy at first, but the longer you hold on to it, the heavier it feels, right? That's what emotional attachment does to you. The longer you cling to the weight of unspoken words, unmet expectations, and unresolved feelings, the more it drains you. The only way to free yourself is to put the glass down. These 7 Stoic rules are the tools you need to do just that. Each rule we'll discuss is designed to help you let go of the past, focus on the present, and build a future that's not defined by pain or loss. These principles will guide you to shift your mindset, find clarity, and rebuild your confidence. And the best part? They don't require any drastic changes or external validation. Everything you need is already within you. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but isn't detachment just another word for giving up? Not at all. Detachment is an act of strength, not weakness. It's about creating boundaries that protect your mental and emotional health. It's about showing yourself the compassion and respect you've been giving to someone else for far too long. And once you master this, you'll realize just how much power you have over your own happiness. These 7 Stoic rules aren't just theories. They're practical, actionable steps you can take starting today. Whether you're struggling to move on from a past relationship, dealing with someone who doesn't reciprocate your energy, or simply want to reclaim your peace, this guide is for you. Each step is rooted in timeless wisdom that has helped countless people navigate heartbreak, loss, and emotional turmoil. Before we dive into the details, let's pause for a moment. What's holding you back right now? Is it fear of being alone? The comfort of familiarity? Or maybe it's the hope that things will change if you just hold on a little longer? Whatever it is, I want you to take a deep breath and remind yourself of this. You have the power to change your story. And it starts with letting go of what no longer aligns with your peace. All right, folks, are you ready to reclaim your happiness and learn how to let go without losing yourself? Then, let's dive into these 7 Stoic rules that will transform the way you approach emotional attachment. But before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that helps you grow, heal, and thrive. Let's get started. Rule 1. Accept life's impermanence. All right, folks, let's dive into a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, embracing impermanence. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially when emotions are tangled up in a relationship. But this rule is your first step to emotional freedom. If you've ever felt stuck, unable to move on, or trapped in an endless cycle of longing, this concept is your breakthrough. Let's break it down. Life is always in motion. Relationships change. People grow apart, and situations evolve. Nothing stays the same. That's not a flaw in life's design. It's just the way things are. Many of us resist this truth because it's uncomfortable. But here's the catch. The more you resist impermanence, the more you suffer. On the flip side, when you accept it, you gain a sense of clarity and control over your emotions. Picture this. You're clinging to a relationship that's already shifted, replaying memories, and wishing things could go back to the way they were. It's exhausting, isn't it? But what if you stopped resisting? What if you embraced the fact that those memories were beautiful because they were fleeting? This shift in perspective doesn't diminish their value. It amplifies it. Stoic philosophy teaches us to see impermanence as an opportunity for growth instead of fearing change. We can lean into it by understanding that nothing lasts forever. You're free to cherish the present without being held captive by the past or anxious about the future. Detachment isn't about shutting off your feelings. It's about finding strength in the ebb and flow of life. Here's where this gets practical. Reflect on the seasons of your life. Friendships that naturally faded, milestones you've achieved, or even heartbreaks that taught you resilience. Each one is a testament to your ability to adapt. You've done it before, and you can do it again. Accepting impermanence isn't about erasing the past. It's about learning from it and letting go of what no longer serves you. Folks, let me share an exercise with you. Write down what you're afraid of losing. Be honest. Is it a person, a sense of identity, or a comfort zone? Once you have it on paper, ask yourself, does holding on to this fear help you grow, or does it hold you back? Most of the time, you'll realize it's the latter. And that realization? It's liberating. When you start seeing life through the lens of impermanence, you gain perspective. That relationship you're clinging to? It's just one chapter in a much bigger story. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or diminishing its importance. It means making space for the next chapter to unfold. And trust me, folks, the next chapter is always waiting for you. It's just up to you to turn the page. Now, let's talk about the fear of the unknown. It's natural to feel anxious when facing change. But think about it this way. Every new beginning was once an ending. The job you have now, the friendships you cherish, even the hobbies that bring you joy, they all started because something else ended. The same applies to relationships. When one ends, it creates space for new connections and opportunities to flourish. Here's an actionable tip. Practice gratitude for the temporary. Instead of mourning what's gone, celebrate what it taught you. Each experience, whether joyful or painful, adds depth to your character. By shifting your focus from loss to gratitude, you transform your mindset and start seeing change as a gift rather than a threat. Let me ask you, folks, when was the last time you embraced a change that scared you and came out stronger? Share your answer in the comments with the phrase, "I grew stronger." Your story might just inspire someone else to take that first step toward acceptance. The beauty of impermanence lies in its power to ground you in the present. It reminds us that nothing, neither joy nor pain, is permanent. And that's a good thing. It means every challenge is temporary, every heartbreak is a stepping stone, and every ending is a new beginning in disguise. All right, folks, that's Rule 1 wrapped up. Are you ready for what's next? It's all about taking this newfound acceptance and using it to build unshakable emotional strength. Let's dive into Rule 2 together. Rule 2. Use rational thinking to master emotions. All right, folks, let's dive into something that hits close to home. Our emotions. They're powerful, aren't they? Sometimes they lift us up, but other times they pull us into a whirlwind of chaos. But here's the truth. Emotions don't have to control you. With the power of rational thought, you can take the reins and master your emotions instead of being mastered by them. Imagine this. You're scrolling through your phone, and a message, or the lack of one, triggers a wave of frustration or sadness. It's almost instinctive to react. You might vent, overthink, or spiral into self-doubt. But what if, in that moment, you paused? What if you could dissect your feelings, understand their source, and respond with calm instead of reacting impulsively? That's the power of rational thought. Here's where Stoicism comes into play. The Stoics believed that our emotions aren't caused by events themselves, but by how we interpret them. Think about that for a second. It's not the message or lack thereof that's upsetting you, it's the meaning you assign to it. They don't care about me. I'm not enough. Or this always happens to me. These thoughts, not the event itself, ignite emotional turmoil. The first step to mastering emotions is self-awareness. When you feel a surge of anger, sadness, or anxiety, pause and identify it. Give it a name. I feel rejected. I feel frustrated. By labeling your emotion, you create distance between yourself and the feeling, making it easier to analyze objectively. Once you've identified the emotion, ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this situation? Is it true? For example, if you didn't get a reply to your message, the story might be, they're ignoring me because I'm unimportant. But is that the only explanation? Could they be busy, preoccupied, or simply unaware of your message? Rational thought allows you to challenge these stories and replace them with balanced, realistic interpretations. Let's take it a step further. Emotions often cloud our judgment, making it hard to see the bigger picture. That's where logic becomes your best ally. Break down the situation into facts. What happened? And what are you assuming about it? By focusing on the facts, you strip away the emotional weight and see the situation for what it truly is, not what your feelings amplify it to be. Folks, I know this sounds easier said than done. Emotions are powerful, and they don't just disappear because we wish them away. But here's the good news. Practicing rational thought is like building a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. Start small. The next time you feel overwhelmed, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what am I really feeling? And why? It's a simple exercise, but it works wonders over time. Another tool in your emotional toolkit is reframing. Instead of seeing emotions as your enemy, treat them as signals. Anger might signal a boundary has been crossed. Sadness might mean something valuable to you has been lost. Use these signals to guide your actions rather than let them dictate your reactions. Let's consider an example. You're frustrated because a friend cancelled plans last minute. Instead of lashing out, use rational thought to reframe the situation. Maybe they genuinely had a valid reason, or maybe their priorities don't align with yours right now. Either way, you now have clarity, and clarity empowers you to respond thoughtfully, whether that means addressing the issue or simply letting it go. Folks, let's pause for a moment. How often do we let fleeting emotions dictate our long-term decisions? Think back to a time when you reacted impulsively and later regretted it. Share your story in the comments with the phrase, "I've learned control." Your experiences might inspire others to take that pause and reflect. Another essential part of mastering emotions is knowing when to step back. Sometimes, emotions feel too overwhelming to process in the moment, and that's okay. Give yourself permission to take a break, journal your thoughts, talk to a trusted friend, or even meditate. By giving yourself space, you allow your rational mind to catch up with your emotional mind. And here's a golden tip. Folks, don't suppress your emotions. Channel them. Suppression only builds pressure, leading to bigger outbursts later. Instead, let emotions flow constructively. Write them down, turn them into creative expression, or use them as fuel for self-improvement. Rational thought doesn't mean denying your feelings. It means directing them towards something meaningful. To wrap up Rule 2, remember this. Emotions are a part of you, but they're not the whole of you. By practicing self-awareness, challenging assumptions, and reframing situations, you can transform your emotional reactions into deliberate, thoughtful responses. Mastering your emotions isn't about being cold or unfeeling. It's about finding strength in understanding yourself better. Folks, I want to hear from you. How do you stay in control of your emotions? Share your thoughts below with the phrase, "I've learned control." Let's inspire and learn from each other. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into a powerful rule that can completely transform the way you handle emotional detachment. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Number 3, harness the power of negative visualization. Folks, let's dive deeper into the transformative practice of negative visualization, a Stoic tool that helps us strengthen our emotional core. At first, it might seem counterintuitive. Why would anyone want to imagine unpleasant scenarios? But this simple mental exercise prepares you for life's uncertainties, helping you develop resilience, gratitude, and a sense of control in a chaotic world. Imagine this. You're attached to someone or something so deeply that the fear of losing them dictates your actions. It's natural to cling to what we love, but that fear can make us overly cautious, reactive, or dependent. Negative visualization is the antidote. Instead of living in fear, you confront the possibility of loss head-on, mentally rehearsing how you'd cope if it happened. This isn't about dwelling on negativity. It's about preparing your mind to stay strong no matter what life throws at you. Start with small scenarios. Picture a minor setback, like a friend canceling plans last minute, or misplacing something valuable. Visualize how you'd handle the situation calmly. Once you're comfortable with smaller challenges, expand to larger, more significant scenarios. Imagine life without a close relationship or a cherished possession. How would you adjust? What steps would you take to rebuild or move forward? This practice doesn't just build resilience. It reduces the grip of fear and anxiety over potential loss. One of the hidden benefits of negative visualization is its ability to cultivate gratitude. When you imagine life without something or someone, you'll find yourself appreciating their presence even more. Let's say you picture life without your favorite morning routine, a quiet coffee, a sunrise, and a good book. When you return to that moment, it feels richer, more meaningful. This shift in mindset allows you to live with heightened awareness and gratitude, cherishing what you have instead of worrying about what you might lose. Here's a practical way to incorporate negative visualization into your daily life. Take a few minutes each morning to close your eyes and imagine one aspect of your life that you deeply miss if it disappeared. It could be as small as a favorite mug or as significant as a loved one's presence. Imagine the void it would create. Then, when you open your eyes and see that it's still there, gratitude will naturally flow. It's a simple practice, yet its effects are profound. Negative visualization also helps you manage expectations. Often, we set ourselves up for disappointment by expecting perfection, perfect relationships, perfect outcomes, perfect lives. But life is unpredictable, and people are imperfect. By visualizing potential obstacles, you prepare yourself for reality instead of clinging to idealized expectations. This allows you to approach life with a sense of acceptance and adaptability, reducing the emotional toll of unmet expectations. For example, let's say you're in a new relationship. Instead of imagining a flawless romance, picture moments of conflict or misunderstanding. By visualizing how you'd handle these situations gracefully, you not only prepare for them, but also reduce the sting if they occur. You're no longer blindsided by imperfection. Instead, you're ready to navigate it calmly and thoughtfully. Another critical aspect of negative visualization is its power to help you detach. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means freedom from unhealthy attachments that control your emotions. When you imagine life without something, you loosen the emotional chains binding you to it. This creates space for clarity, emotional stability, and the ability to make decisions based on rationality rather than fear. Think about it like this. If you're an athlete, you don't just train for victories, you also prepare for defeats. You imagine the challenges, the setbacks, and the tough calls so that when they happen, you're ready. Negative visualization works the same way for your emotional well-being. It equips you to face life's ups and downs with courage and composure. And let's not forget the empowerment that comes with being prepared. When you've mentally rehearsed how to handle loss or hardship, you'll find yourself less reactive and more in control when reality tests you. This confidence radiates outward, making you appear calm and composed, even in difficult situations. It's a quality that not only benefits you, but also inspires those around you. In essence, negative visualization isn't about dwelling on worst-case scenarios. It's about finding strength in them. It's about acknowledging life's uncertainties and embracing them as part of the human experience. Through this practice, you cultivate resilience, deepen your gratitude, and liberate yourself from the fear of what might be. Instead of living in constant worry, you start living with purpose and appreciation. What's one thing you're grateful for today? Comment below with grateful mindset and share your thoughts. Stay tuned. Folks, in the next section, we'll uncover a Stoic tool that helps you reframe challenges and find peace in the midst of life's chaos. You won't want to miss it. Number 4, mastering the art of control, folks. Let's dive into one of the most empowering principles of emotional detachment, focusing on what you can control. It's a lesson that's easy to hear but often challenging to live by. Yet, this one simple shift in mindset can transform the way you navigate relationships and life itself. The truth is, much of the stress, anxiety, and disappointment we experience stems from trying to control things that are simply beyond our reach. Let's start with a relatable scenario. Imagine you're in a situation where someone's behavior is causing you distress. Maybe they're pulling away, acting unpredictably, or saying things that leave you second-guessing your worth. Your first instinct might be to analyze their actions, guess their motives, or even try to change how they feel about you. But here's the harsh reality. You can't control another person's emotions, choices, or actions. What you can control, however, is your response. Focusing on what you can control doesn't mean giving up or being passive. Quite the opposite. It's about redirecting your energy to things that matter. Instead of obsessing over someone else's choices, shift your attention inward. Ask yourself, how am I responding to this? Am I maintaining my boundaries? Am I acting with integrity and self-respect? These are the questions that empower you to take charge of your emotional state. This principle also ties directly into reducing anxiety. Anxiety often arises from the gap between what we want to control and what we actually can. By narrowing your focus to your sphere of influence, you strip away that tension. For example, you can't force someone to appreciate you, but you can focus on being the best version of yourself. You can't dictate whether someone stays in your life, but you can control how you handle their absence. Let's bring this into a practical strategy you can use daily. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or stressed, take a moment to pause and reflect. Break the situation down into two categories: things you can influence and things you can't. Then, commit to putting your energy solely into the first category. It's like trimming away the excess worry and giving yourself permission to breathe. Here's an example. Imagine you're waiting for a message or call that never comes. Instead of fixating on why they're not reaching out, focus on what you can do in that moment. Maybe it's diving into a passion project, spending time with loved ones, or simply taking a walk to clear your mind. These actions not only shift your focus, but also reaffirm your independence and strength. Now, let's talk about the ripple effect of this mindset. When you stop trying to control others, something amazing happens. You regain your personal power. People around you notice this shift. Your calm and composed demeanor becomes magnetic. It's not about manipulation. It's about showing that your self-worth doesn't hinge on anyone else's actions. This quiet confidence speaks volumes. As you internalize this rule, you'll notice a profound change in how you approach challenges. Whether it's in relationships, work, or personal growth, you'll find that focusing on what you can control brings clarity and peace. It's not about surrendering. It's about choosing your battles wisely and winning them with grace. Now, let's hear from you, folks. What's one thing you've recently chosen to let go of because it was beyond your control? Share your story with the comment. Taking control. Stay tuned, because up next, we're diving into another life-changing Stoic rule that will help you detach emotionally and stay strong in any situation. Number 5. Gaining clarity by reflecting on the bigger picture. Folks, let's take a step back and look at the broader perspective. When emotions run high, it's easy to get consumed by the immediate situation. The hurt, the rejection, or the frustration of the moment. But here's the secret. Stepping back and reflecting on the bigger picture can bring clarity and peace that's hard to find in the heat of the moment. Let's start with an analogy. Imagine you're looking at a single piece of a jigsaw puzzle. It might seem chaotic, confusing, or meaningless, but when you zoom out and see how it fits into the whole puzzle, suddenly everything makes sense. The same applies to life and relationships. The pain or confusion you feel now might just be one small piece of a much larger, beautiful picture. One way to start reflecting on the bigger picture is by asking yourself some grounding questions. What am I learning from this experience? How is this situation shaping me as a person? These questions shift your focus from the immediate discomfort to the long-term growth that lies ahead. Every setback has the potential to be a setup for something better, if you let it. For example, think about a challenging relationship. It's natural to focus on what went wrong, but what if you looked at it differently? What did that person teach you about your needs, your boundaries, or your values? What lessons can you carry forward to build stronger, healthier connections in the future? This isn't about dismissing your feelings. It's about giving them purpose. Another powerful tool for reflecting on the bigger picture is gratitude. Yes, even in the midst of pain, there's room for gratitude. Think about the lessons you've learned, the strength you've built, and the opportunities that lie ahead. Gratitude doesn't erase the hurt, but it helps you see the light through the cracks. When you embrace this mindset, something incredible happens. You stop reacting to life's challenges with fear or frustration. Instead, you approach them with curiosity and resilience. You start to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones to a better version of yourself. Reflecting on the bigger picture also helps you let go of the need for control over things you can't change. You realize that life has a way of unfolding in ways you might not understand now, but will make sense later. This realization brings a sense of calm that's hard to shake. Now, folks, I want to hear from you. What's one moment in your life where looking at the bigger picture helped you find clarity? Share your story in the comments with the phrase, "seeing the whole puzzle." And don't forget to stay tuned, because we're just getting started with these powerful Stoic rules. Up next, we'll explore another transformative step that will help you take emotional detachment to the next level. You won't want to miss it. Number 6, finding peace by embracing the present moment. Folks, let's talk about the here and now. The present moment is where life happens. It's the only place where we have power, the only time we can truly act. Yet, so often, we let our minds drag us into the past, replaying mistakes, or push us into the future, worrying about things that may never happen. Embracing the present is not just a Stoic principle, it's a way to find peace in a chaotic world. Why is living in the present so powerful? It's because the present moment is reality, the past is gone, and the future isn't here yet. When you focus on what's real, what you can see, feel, and act on right now, you take back control. You're no longer at the mercy of what-ifs or should-haves. Instead, you're fully engaged with what matters most. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're having a conversation, but instead of listening, your mind wanders to an argument you had yesterday or a presentation you're nervous about tomorrow. What happens? You miss the opportunity to connect in the here and now. But if you ground yourself, truly listening and engaging, that conversation becomes meaningful, and your presence leaves an impression. Practicing mindfulness is one of the best ways to embrace the present moment. It doesn't have to be complicated. Start by focusing on your breath. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and feel the air move through your body. This simple act pulls you out of your thoughts and into the present. Another great way is to engage your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, or feel right now? These little practices can ground you when your mind starts to wander. Living in the moment doesn't mean ignoring the past or future. Instead, it's about finding a balance. The past teaches us, the future guides us, but the present is where we grow and act. Reflect on the lessons you've learned and set goals for the future, but don't let them steal the joy and clarity of now. You might ask, how does this help with emotional detachment? It's simple. When you focus on the present, you let go of the pain of the past and the anxiety of the future. You stop holding on to things you can't control and start appreciating what you can. This shift in perspective can transform your relationships and your emotional well-being. Now, folks, let me remind you of something important. If you're finding value in these insights, make sure you hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll never miss out on these powerful lessons and strategies to help you live your best life. Number 7. Shift your perspective by reframing your thoughts, folks. We've reached the final and perhaps the most empowering step, reframing your thoughts. This principle doesn't just help you cope with life's challenges. It gives you the ability to transform how you see the world. It's a skill that can turn pain into purpose, obstacles into opportunities, and uncertainty into clarity. By reframing, you take control of your narrative, allowing yourself to grow stronger and more self-assured. Imagine this. You've been ignored by someone you care about. Your initial reaction might be frustration, sadness, or even self-doubt. That's completely natural. Our emotions are programmed to react to perceived rejection. But what if you paused and looked at the situation differently? What if instead of thinking, "They don't value me," you told yourself, "They might be overwhelmed with their own challenges right now, and this has nothing to do with me." That single shift in perspective changes the entire emotional landscape. You've gone from personalizing the situation to seeing it objectively, which helps you stay grounded. Reframing starts with recognizing your initial thoughts and questioning them. Often, our first reactions are fueled by assumptions or insecurities. For example, if you fail to meet a personal goal, you might think, "I'm not good enough." But reframing asks you to challenge that thought and replace it with, "This is a chance to learn what didn't work and come back stronger." This isn't about ignoring your emotions. It's about choosing a perspective that empowers you instead of one that diminishes your confidence. A great practice for developing this habit is journaling. Whenever you feel stuck in a negative thought loop, write down what happened, how you initially reacted, and then explore different ways to interpret the situation. For instance, say a friend cancels plans at the last minute. Your gut reaction might be disappointment or annoyance, but through reframing, you could consider, maybe this is a sign to spend some quality time with myself today. By challenging the initial narrative, you soften the emotional blow and open the door to a more positive outlook. Another powerful way to reframe your thoughts is by shifting your focus to gratitude. Life's challenges often make us lose sight of the good that surrounds us. Reframing through gratitude might look like this. Instead of dwelling on a missed opportunity, you could reflect on what you've gained from the experience or other areas of your life where things are going well. Gratitude doesn't erase difficulties, but it gives you a more balanced perspective, making the challenges feel less overwhelming. Reframing is especially transformative when it comes to dealing with rejection. If someone distances themselves from you, the default reaction might be to feel unworthy or to question what you did wrong. But reframing encourages you to think, "This is a reflection of where they are, not a statement about my value." It's about seeing rejection as redirection, an opportunity to focus on yourself and align with people or opportunities that truly value you. What makes reframing so powerful is how it changes your relationship with discomfort. Instead of resisting it, you start to embrace it as a necessary part of growth. Every time you reframe a situation, you're building emotional resilience, teaching yourself that you have the power to create a narrative that serves you rather than one that works against you. Finally, reframing isn't a one-time skill, it's a lifelong practice. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Over time, it will shape your mindset into one that thrives in the face of adversity, helping you stay calm, focused, and in control no matter what life throws your way. Folks, this is your secret weapon for emotional freedom. With this step, you can face life with clarity and strength, knowing that no matter the situation, you hold the power to choose how it affects you. Now, let's take this wisdom forward and apply it to our daily lives. This isn't just a tool. It's a mindset that will empower you for a lifetime. All right, folks, that wraps up today's video. We've covered some powerful strategies to help you detach emotionally, find your inner strength, and take back control of your narrative. Remember, the key isn't just knowing these steps, it's about applying them consistently in your life. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and share it with someone who might need this advice. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more valuable content like this. Now it's your turn. What's one mindset shift you're ready to make today? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for spending your time with me, and until next time, take care and keep building the best version of yourself. See you soon.